Most people are gonna work today. That's for real. What's up, it's Justin, Mr. CMB. I'm back with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And here we go again. I'm gonna dive right into this topic because most people are gonna work until they, and I'm gonna let you know why. And we're gonna dive into some statistics and some factual things that I found, and we're gonna get right into it. So let's get right into it. The statistics behind this is really bad. Like, it's really bad. So I'm gonna cut to it. So first off, number one, people are living longer. And you gotta understand, in the 1950s, the average life expectancy was around 48 years to 60 years. So we're in that range. Fast forward to today, that number has jumped to be 72 years globally. 72 years globally. Now, this doesn't just mean this country. With modern technology, modern medicine, and even just holistic medicine, people will live longer. So we got to take that into a factor, right? And with many countries are developing right now, we're going to see countless people live into their 80s. And on the surface, this sounds great. I'm all about health and wealth and living longer. And, I plan on living to at least be bare minimum 100, right? But, more time to enjoy family, more time to enjoy life, more time to enjoy the things that you specifically like, right? So this is where we go to the flip side of this whole debacle and this whole issue that we have, right? While we're living longer, the traditional retirement age of 65 is looking more outdated. Honestly, it's not looking more outdated. It is outdated. It just is what it is. People are working longer than that, right? And you got to understand, in countries like the US, the official full retirement age is 67. And mind you, this is just according to the Social Security Administration. And Social Security is pretty much going to run out at some certain point. I'm probably not even going to be a recipient of that being my age, So why? It's because the math adds up longer. That's just simply what it is, right? And look, the average savings of retirees, data shows, are relying on Social Security. And now some people may be getting $1,500 a month. If they're lucky, they end in $2,000 a month. Unless you have a paid off house, you still got to worry about paying taxes on that house. That'll probably eat that money up. How are you going to eat? How are you going to pay your cell phone bill? How are you going to gas, car for going around? Maybe you just want to live a little bit, vacations. You're not going to have no money for that if you don't have any savings or really extra income or really streams of income, which is what we focus on this channel, creating your own economy, right? Now, pensions are drying up. I mean, it's just done. 1980, about 38% of the private sector workers in the US had pension plans. So not about, actually 38%. And that number is less than 15%, which I know. And they don't even talk about pensions. I mean, it just doesn't exist. And many people rely on 401ks, which I could probably do another video on that, and personal savings to fund their retirement. But let me give you some sobering statistics. I'm gonna give you something sober. So we're gonna keep it sober, all right? So according to the 2022 survey, 25% of Americans have no retirement savings at all. None at all, right? And about 45% had less than $25,000 in savings. If that's the case, now, with all things being equal, how the hell are you going to retire? You're not. You're going to be working. So here's where we go. Look, so most people are relying on side gigs and things like that. Like, I've made a video on this. Side gigs should have an expiration date. You don't want to get caught into that trap of getting a little bit of money. Overall, over the long haul, it's not worth it. It's good for a short, quick hustle, but on the long haul, it's just not worth it. And I think I did a video on that last year or whatever, right? So the gig economy, millions of people are freelancers, Uber drivers, part of hustle, the hustle culture, which is, it's flexibility, but for financial security, it's bad because you have to physically work to make money. Anytime you have to physically work to make money, you're capped. Like, you're capped. We live in a society where you need to be creating streams of income to where you're getting paid even when you sleep, when you wake up, or if you don't feel like doing anything. And one of the most important things is getting rid of bills. All right. But back to what I'm saying, but it's bad for long-term flexibility. And what I mean by bad, I mean gig working is terrible because 58% of gig workers say they struggle to cover $400 of emergency expenses. And I know you're probably like, what? If you can ride an Uber, you could do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, how are they struggling? It's because they're able to pay themselves out every day. You got to understand, if you don't know how to manage your money, then you're just going to be in the same situation every single time. It's nothing's going to change at all, you know? So that's not exactly setting anyone up for early retirement. And there's a way you can do Uber, Lyft, and all these other gig workers and do it correctly to where you can actually have benefits and structure right. If you want me to do a video about gig work and how to actually structure the stuff right, comment below and I'll do it, right? So this is a problem. Healthcare costs. Healthcare costs. We can't forget about healthcare. And honestly, I think healthcare in the US is a scam. And I could go into detail why. Like, I have, you know, my mother works in healthcare. I know about all these things, how they operate. They're for profit only. I know about these places like Johns Hopkins. I know about all these things, especially on the back end, and how they actually make money and actually can make more money off of you. But we're not going to get into that. So healthcare, 65-year-old couple retiring in 2023 is expected to need around $315,000 just to cover medical expenses in retirement. 315,000, right? And as healthcare costs continue to rise, because what? It's all about the money, baby. More people are going to find themselves working just to pay for medical expenses because they didn't take their health, which is why I take health more serious than anything else. Nothing comes above health for me. No man, no woman, no nothing goes above health. So what is the problem? What is the next problem, Justin? What's the next problem? We got AI. So we got the future of robotics and AI and automation, which is something that I specialize in, automation. On top of this, automation AI transforming industries faster than we see. And it increases productivity, it increases systems processes, but it also phases out current jobs, administrative jobs, things that require repetitive tasks over and over again, especially for older workers or unskilled workers who find it hard to adapt to new technology, right? Many are going to be forced to take in low wage jobs, so they're underpaid wage slaves, as I would say, and later in life just to make ends meet, which is, you know, bad. I don't like it at all. I personally don't like it at all. And you got to look at the rising cost of inflation. Now, if all those things before that wasn't worse, we got inflation. And you got to understand, inflation is eroding purchasing power. And it's going to get worse, and it's going to get way worse. The cost of living has skyrocketed over the last decade. Forget the last decade. Look at the past 5 years, right? The 4 years. Let's look at 4 years. And the housing prices, you got food, you got utilities, you got bills and bills and bills and bills.
Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
And it's taken a larger share of your income. And even those who did save for retirement might find their savings aren't worth as much as they expected. And that's what's happening right now at this very moment. So if we compare to ourselves in the US, I'm saying countries like Germany, countries like the US, and this isn't happening in the US and Japan. It's where life expectancy is the highest in the world. Nearly 25% of the workforce is 65 years or old. And Germany and the UK and many other countries are also seeking the trend of older workers staying in the workforce much longer, which means you're gonna work to, yes. So what can be done about it? So I'm gonna go through some things and then I'm gonna freestyle some things. So financial literacy is important. I actually hate that word. It's really getting a foundation of basic finances and economics. How to make money, which to me is the most important thing. How to manage money, which is the second most important thing. How to leverage money, which is the third most important thing. And I'm gonna make a video about creating your own economy so you can be able to create a system, a process, or create your own economy to where you can do what the fuck you wanna do, right? And that's where I really want everyone to be, is you can have choice and choosing and not be a slave to pay, right? And if you love what you do, you should do, I mean, by all means, love what you do, but there's solutions. So one, start saving early. I think that's easier than most people because you have to learn how to save. It's very generic when people say save if you're not taught that. And anyway, investing wisely, making informed decisions. And these are just like general terms. So, and I'll do videos specifically on these general terms, because people say invest. Invest in what? What the hell do you invest in if you don't have any direction? How the hell do you save if you've never been taught saving, or taught to live on a budget, or even taught how to budget? So these are just basic things. Most people, I see they start at 2, but you got to start at the foundation. And that's why you see this country in the whirlwind that it's in right now. Most people in the whirlwind, because they don't have the foundational basics. And that's what I focus on, and what I want you guys to focus on, right? And I do have, if you click the link below, I do have a budget sheet that you could track all your expenses, physically do it. And the reason why you want to physically do it, because you're able to see things and it shifts your mind. I can't explain it, you just got to do it, right? And on a larger scale, governments and businesses need to adapt to the new reality of providing more robust retirement systems and flexible work options for older employees. I just don't think they're going to care about providing robust retirement systems for people. Just to be honest with you, my personal opinion, these companies don't give a damn about you. Flexibility, I think that's very important, especially with remote work. Most people don't need to be in an office if they're doing specific things for a company, and people value quality of life over just working to make money to buy things that they don't really need. I think that whole consumerism thing, people are really starting to rethink that right now, right? Especially in the US. Now, the bottom line is many people are going to work until they, and it could be a necessity. The thing is, you got to understand data. You got to understand what your situation is, whether you're in debt, whether you do have money and you're doing well, what's the next step to do with your money. And really just, you got to have a game plan of how you see your life. Like literally, once you're done with this video, I want you to sit down and map out exactly how you want your life to be in the next 5 years and 10 years. And if it takes you a day, if it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, you need to really map that out, and don't actually skim on what you want. Don't be, oh, I don't need this much. No, be honest with yourself.
I mean, everything we see is a false reality.
Map it out, and then what you need to do is create that game plan with that. So I hope this helps. I don't want none of you guys to work until you, I want you to succeed, but most of society is gonna work until they. Mr. CMB, Justin, I'm out. Peace.